Hi students, welcome to the orientation session on the Telangana economy. Myself Bihar, I'm going to take this orientation session by focusing on what are the areas and what are the intricate subjects or intricate topics which we have in the syllabus which is provided by the TSPSC in the Group 1 mains. So we'll be focusing now today on the Telangana economy, which is a part of paper 4 of TSPSC mains. So if you see in this session, we'll be focusing on what are the chapters and we'll try to decode what are the main perspective questions which we can get from these things. And as usual, for every chapter, we will be discussing in this specific module. For every chapter, we will be discussing all the subheadings which are provided in the chapter and the other subjects to write a perfect mains answer in the coming group 1 mains examination, and you will be getting a practice questions for each chapter mentioned, and all the topics properly will be done with the help of question and answers. Okay, so let's get into the chapter, students. So when we see the Telangana economy, which is in the part 2 of paper 4, when we look into this aspects of Telangana economy, first is what is the situation of Telangana economy before it is present, before that is when it is present during the Hyderabad state, etc. So let's see the chapter. So in this chapter, it clearly mentions that Telangana economy in the Hyderabad state. That means it is talking in the focus of situation. It is focusing on what are the things or what are the economic activities. Where are the economic activities which were focused? What were the economic activities which were focused? What is the situation of agriculture? Did the Nizams helped really India or not? Sorry, really Telangana or not? And what are the situations present? Okay, did they help the agriculture? Did they help the industries? Did they help the trade situations? Okay, so in this focus, we need to frame up the questions and answers. So it is stating that what is the situation of Telangana area, not the state specifically, Telangana area, okay, during when it is present in Hyderabad state. When we see the unified Andhra Pradesh, okay, united Andhra Pradesh, okay, which was formed in 1956. That next topic is that only the Telangana economy in unified AP, that is from 1956 to 2014, because after 2014 you all know that the formation of Telangana has happened, a separate state. Okay, so the situation is here. What is the situation of area of Telangana, not as a state, area of Telangana in the Hyderabad state, in the Hyderabad state. Second situation is again, what is the status of Telangana economy or situation of Telangana economy when it is in United Andhra Pradesh? United Andhra Pradesh. So when it comes to the United Andhra Pradesh students, we were focusing on agriculture, but at the same time, the farmers suffered because of two different type of policies. When it comes to the AP, majority of the Rayalaseema, these are under the Madras state. Okay, Deccan, that is when we see the Hyderabad, the Nalagunda, etc. These states, Adilabad, these states are under the Nizam rule. So there were different policies. There were different policies, but in unified AP, they made a similar policy. Now, how that policy has affected, or it is having a positive effect or negative effect. Okay, that would be in the Telangana economy in the United AP part. And next is whatever the deprivations which happened to the Telangana, underdevelopment, etc., the structure and the growth of Telangana economy. Now, this is for the present situation, students. From here, the present situation. What is the structure of Telangana economy at present? What is the sectoral trends in the gross state domestic product? What is the sectoral trends in the gross state domestic product? Like, what is the situation of agriculture, that is primary sector? What is the situation of industries, that is secondary sector? What is the situation of service sector, which is tertiary sector? Now here, that we need to focus on. What is the trends in the agricultural? Like, we should focus on what are the productivity trends in the agriculture. Why from 4 5 years, the GSDP of agriculture is increasing continuously? What are the reasons? So we need to focus on that kind of consent in terms of the sectoral trends in the GSDP. And we need to focus on per capita income, how the different policies of government of Telangana are focusing to increase the per capita income, whether we are higher than the Indian per capita income or lesser than the Indian per capita income. So it is talking state specifically. And what is the income inequalities and poverty situation in the country, in the state? What is the income inequalities and the poverty situation in the state of Telangana? So simply to summarize, students, the first chapter contains three main parts. First one is Telangana economic situation. Telangana economic situation in when it is a part of Hyderabad state, and when it is in the part of Andhra Pradesh state, AP state. So Telangana economic situation when it is in the part of Hyderabad state, AP state also. Okay, that's the first part. Next, second part comes is present Telangana. Present Telangana. Now the present Telangana again is the same. What is this? What is the situation of sectors in the Telangana? Okay, what is the situation of per capita income? What is the situation of socio-economic situations? That means what is the situation of poverty, unemployment, inequality, like poverty, unemployment, income inequality, etc. So we need to focus on these socio-economic problems which are present in Telangana also. Okay, so this would be the chapter 1. This would be the chapter 1. For example, we can expect a question from the first chapter, from the first chapter in this way. We can expect a first chapter question in this way. Simple to say, how was the state of Telangana economy during 1956 towards 1970, 1980. Okay, so during that time, how was the economic situation of Telangana? Simple to say, we need to focus on 1956 situation, where We were under unified Andhra Pradesh, okay, and we need to focus on the aspects. What is the economic situation at that time? Which sector has got major role? How the industries were there? Did we establish any industries in Telangana? So that we must focus. And second type of question we can get is another way. That is simple. There is LPG reforms which were taken in 1991 by the government of India. Now, again, see here, Telangana economy in unified AP. So it is from 1956 to 2014. So we can expect that question because it is in 1991. We can expect that question here over here. How did LPG reforms affected Telangana? It has a positive effect or negative effect. So we need to learn those things also. Okay, so this is the first chapter for the Telangana economy. Let's go into the second chapter. The second chapter. The second chapter is simple. It talks regarding socio-economic situations. Okay, it is regarding only socio-economy. It talks regarding population. So first is human resources. So it talks regarding the demographic structure and how the demographic structure of Telangana is present. Do we have more youth population, less youth population? Okay. Do we have children population more? And how is that transition phase of Telangana? I guess everybody know demographic transition theory. Demographic transition theory. It states the stages of population's transition. Stages of population transition. Stages of population transition. So how can we see the demographic structure in Telangana? Are we at stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, or what is the transition stage we are and how the demographic structure is there? Next comes the demographic dividend. We need to focus on how the demography is divided. Okay, what is the sex ratio, the male and female ratio, male to female ratio, fertility rate, mortality rates. What are the fertility rates which are present in Telangana? What are the mortality rates which are present in Telangana? So in this way, we need to focus on all kind of mortalities. Again, it is infant mortality rate, it is maternal mortality rate. So we need child mortality rate. We need to focus on all these aspects in the mortality rates. Okay, so in the demographic dividends, we need to focus on these aspects. And we all know that majority of the fertility rate, mortality rates we can get from the socio-economic outlook. Socio-economic outlook. For the demographic structure, population, etc., and sex ratio, we can focus from the census 2011 census, because these are the authenticated data. So we need to focus always on authentic data whenever you write data in the answer. Don't write the data which is present in the newspapers. Please write the authentic data from the reports which are published by the government, whether it may be government of Telangana or whether it may be government of India. Please write and publish those reports only, those statistics only. Okay, so if it is official book of government of Telangana or government of India, please write those as a. It must be official book. It must not be some author who writes their views. Those kind of things we need not to write in the mains. So here we need to focus on those aspects. Here we need to focus on those aspects. Next, what is the literacy rate in the Telangana? What is the occupational structure? Majority of the population are working in which sector? Major income resources for the people is which sector? Okay, for example, when we see the occupation, almost all 50% of the households in Telangana, majority of the 50% of the households in Telangana are employed under primary sector. They are employed under the primary sector. So we need to focus on the occupation structure. As we have seen, 50% of the households in Telangana are employed under the primary sector. So we need to focus on occupation structure and get to know the importance of that sector for the Telangana economy as well as for the population who are employed under it. So if we don't get to that importance, we may get a question from there. According to the occupation structure of Telangana, what are the major sectors the government should focus so that the majority population will not have any decrease in their income opportunities? So we need to focus in that way. So these are simple. When we understand occupation structure, automatically we can write the answer. Next, what is the situation of social sector? Social sector is again same, the education and health. What is the situation of health? What is the situation of education in Telangana? What are the educational policies of Telangana? What are the health policies of Telangana? What is the situation of health expenditure? What are the programs, etc.? So again, these also from the government reports only. Only government reports. So we will make that government reports also when we are writing the answers for the questions. We will be writing the answers from the further questions from the government reports itself, because those provide a perfect answer for our question. Those reports provide a perfect answers for our questions. So this is regarding the chapter 2 in the Telangana economy. So let's move on to the chapter 3. So in the chapter 3, it is simple. What are the policies which are implemented by the Britishers for making the land revenue from the farmers? Now, why did Britishers make only land revenue policies? Why they did not make any industrial policies or industrial revenue earning policy? The simple thing is, majority, I can say 90% of the population during that time were employed under agriculture only, and our major income resource is agriculture. And at the same point of time, Britishers want only raw materials, and that too the raw materials from the primary sector only. They don't want any other raw materials because they have industries there, they have well established industries there. So they came only for the search of raw materials. So majority of the raw materials for their industries are present in our primary sector. So that's the reason why they need to collect these materials from the farmer for free of cost. That's their policy. That's their policy. They want to collect the raw materials from the farmer at free of cost. That's the reason why, to collect those goods or raw materials from the farmers, they started taxing policies. Those are called as land revenue systems. Land revenue systems. So they simply collected land revenues. They simply collected the land revenues. So as the farmer cannot give them the money, he used to give the share of the production. Any farmer who does not give the money, they need to give you the share of production. So that's the reason why every farmer decided that we will give the share of the production. For example, one of the land revenue systems, as we see here, land revenue systems are Zamindari system, Jagirdari system, Inamdari system, okay, Rayatwari system, Raitwari system, Mahalwari system, Raitwari system, Mahalwari system, Zamindari system, Jagirdari system, etc. These are the land revenue systems through which they used to earn the raw materials for their industries. For example, let's take when it is in the Zamindari system, its simple notion is this. You collect, the Zamindar is present for collecting the revenue of the land. The Zamindar is present for the collecting the revenue from the land. So he goes to farmer and he asks farmer to give the tax. Farmer will say, I cannot give you money. You can take the production. That's the scenario which was happening. So farmer will be transferring the production to the Zamindar. Now Zamindar, what he do? He transfers this collected things to the British government. Okay, British government. So, in meanwhile, what is the ratio? Whatever the thing which is collected by the Zamindar, 1 by 11th should be kept with him. Okay, and 10 by 11th should be transferred to the British government. So, if he collected, let's assume 11 kgs, he need to take 1 kg for himself or 1% from the 1 kg for himself and transfer 10 kgs to British government. If he is taking money, if he takes 11 rupees, he need to keep for himself 1 rupee and transfer 10 rupees to the British government. This is a system. Now, how did this affected the agriculture? How did this affected the farmers? So it affected the farmers a lot because of various situations we will be discussing in the classes. Then Government of India, after independence, observed that only problem for the farmers in India for the agriculture is land revenue systems. So they implemented land reforms. So they implemented land reforms. And these land reforms were implemented by the government of India, okay, in two stages or in two generations. First generation is from 1947 to 1970, okay. Second generation is 1970 to present situation. How did they abolish the Zamindar system, Jagirdar system, Inamdari, Raitwari, Mahalwari, okay, and what are the reforms which were taken under land reforms? How did they help the tenancy farmers? How did they created the ceiling or the upper limit for land ownership? They created upper ship for land ownership, upper limit. That means a person cannot have 200 acres now. There is an upper limit for the land. So whatever the upper limit, it is 54 acres or some in the classification, 54 acres, let's assume. If it is 54 acres, the Zamindar or the other person should give the rest amount to the government. Suppose if it is having 100 acres, 54 you keep and transfer 46 to us. That was the land reforms. Okay, so how they were implemented? Okay, how did we separate or give the land? How did we separate or give the land to scheduled areas? And what are the impacts of these land reforms on the economy of the state? What are the impacts of the land reforms on the economy of the state? Okay, this would be our things. For example, in this, if we can directly say the questions, expect the questions, clearly explain or examine the implementation of first generation reforms in Telangana. Examine implementation of first generation land reforms. Examine first generation land reforms. So clearly examine or explain. Examine first generation land reforms implementation in Telangana. Implementation in Telangana. Examine first generation land reforms implementation in Telangana. Simple. What is the impact of land reforms on the Telangana economy? Again, a simple question. So we can expect these kind of questions in the chapter 3. So we'll try to solve each and every part by going through the questions and writing them the ideal answer. So let's come to the chapter 4. That is again, now it is simple. From chapter 4 and 5, for the chapter 4 and 5, my aspects and approach is similar. When we see chapter 4, it is focusing on primary sector. Primary sector. So my approach is simple. First, we need to know what are the activities under primary sector. What are the activities under primary sector? After activities, we need to know income of these activities, income share of these activities, income share of these activities, For example, fisheries is a part of agriculture and allied sectors. Fruits cultivation is a part of agricultural sector. Vegetables, crops, no, we need to focus on what is the income share of this. Okay, after focusing on this, then we need to focus on problems of problems present in primary sector, in Telangana. What are the problems? So what are the problems which are present in the primary sector in Telangana? Whether it may be irrigational problems, whether it may be seed problems, whether it may be fertilizer problems, whether it may be the irrigation problems, whether it may be the soil texture problems, erosion problems, we'll discuss those aspects. Okay, next, after focusing on the problems, we'll try to provide solutions for these problems. We'll try to provide the solution for these problems. Now, solutions. There are various solutions. Irrigation projects for proper irrigation system, irrigation projects. After irrigation projects, when we see the problem of Telangana is seed, so seeds, okay, we will see soil fertility, soil health card. So we'll integrate all the programs and find the solutions for the problems of primary sector. Okay, for example, one of the major problem for the primary sector is no proper availability of agricultural credit. So we'll try to solve the problem. What are the ways we can bring the agricultural credit to the farmers? How the present banking sector is helping for the farmers to get affordable credit? What is the policy of RBI to provide the affordable credit to the farmers? Okay, and what is the specific role played by NABARD? And all the people in the Ashok Nagar know where NABARD is present. Okay, so the serious aspirants who are preparing, because it is in the RTC crossroads. So NABARD, what is its role? National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. What is the role of the NABARD? Okay, we'll focus on these. Then we'll be focusing on what are the producer companies which are present in Telangana, what are the cooperatives associations which are formed by the farmers in the Telangana, how that will be helping for improving their income activities, etc. We'll be focusing on in chapter 4 of agriculture. For example, let's say we can take a problem like what are the programs or what are the ways through which the government is supporting dryland agriculture in Telangana? So let's make the things from the programs of Telangana government, from the socio-economic outlook of Telangana, from the geography of Telangana, we'll make it out the output. So we'll write the answers for the things of the dryland agriculture. Okay, so this is in the aspect of chapter 4. Now let's go on to the chapter 5. In the chapter 5, it's simple, students. The chapter 5 is divided into two parts. That is industrial sector. We can say it as simple to say the secondary sector, and third one is tertiary sector. Third one is tertiary sector. And in between these combinations, there is MSMEs. In between these combination, there is MSMEs. MSME, micro, small, medium scale enterprises, because these enterprises are present both in the industrial sector and the service sector. Okay, so it is focusing on this. So this chapter clearly says that we need to focus on what are the industries, what are the developmental programs of industries, developmental programs, what industries we focus much, Telangana's industries, Telangana industrial policy, Telangana industrial policy. Then we focus on what is the sector's growth in Telangana, sector's growth in Telangana. Then what are the problems of industries in Telangana? Now, how do we solve the problems and solutions? Okay, so that is in the industries part. When it comes to tertiary, again the same. For tertiary, what are the developmental programs? Again the same. Developmental programs, policies for the tertiary sector. For example, it is clearly mentioned in the part 5 also. Now, if you see, this is the part 5 where it is mentioned the ICT policy, Information Communication Technology Policy of Telangana. There are two policies, first policy and second policy. So we'll focus on those policies. And when we see these two things, here we also need to focus on one, what is the role of providing employment, which provides more employment. Role of providing employment. Again, for the MSME is also same. What are the developmental programs of the government? How it is important for us? Importance of MSMEs. How importance of MSMEs, please, for example, many of the MSMEs went under losses during COVID-19. Now, when they went under the losses during COVID-19, how did the government cope up to help them, to revive them? Sick industries. Sick industries are those industries which are not performing well. They are continuously under losses. How did the government empower? Why did the government help them? Because of only one thing, they are important for us. When they are important for us, government will go to any extent. So that's the situation of the chapter 5 in the Telangana economy. So we'll try to deal with every topic through a question and answer, so that for every question you make some answer writing, and at the same point of time, you can also know while we discussing, you can also know what are the things you can write in the answer, and what are the things we should not mention in the answer, and what are the prospects of a perfect answer. So these are the things which we can do in our sessions. Okay, so this is regarding the Telangana economy, which is present in paper 4. Okay, thank you, students.